Alright, Marvel Rival players, let's go over the best characters to actually play in the game. This is going to be a tier list from the best to the worst characters to go ahead and play. And I don't really like to waste any time, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. I want to kind of really quickly answer the question, what's the best DPS? What's the best support? What's the best tank? I know technically they have other terms in the game, like they call them Vanguard, but for the most part, people understand that, so that's what I'm going to be referring it to. So starting right off, I'm just going to go ahead and answer the question because a lot of people want to know what's just the best in each category. So the best DPS, no doubt, Star-Lord is absolutely S tier. For the best support, Luna Snow is by a mile the best. And as far as tanks go, I would say it is definitely team dependent, but I would say if you are maybe a beginner player, Groot is really strong, and Groot gets incredible value right now in the game. And that is simply because people don't really understand how he works, and he just gets crazy amount of like damage taken, which essentially is kind of like damage blocked in the game. He has an insane amount of damage that he can block. So I wanted to start off the video by just going over like those three categories, but I also want to go ahead and mention kind of a little bit of background, because if this is your first time here, I gotta kind of explain where my thought process is going with this, because I've checked out other tier lists and I'm just like, dude, this list is absolutely wrong. Maybe they play in completely different ranks in video games, and that is a huge thing to factor in when you're looking at a tier list. Are they playing at like bronze, or are they playing in like top 500 or like grandmasters in a game? So really quickly for reference, in case it's the first time you're here, I play a lot of Overwatch. I've been grandmasters in every single role in Overwatch 2, and I was also grandmasters in Overwatch 1. In Heroes of the Storm, which is a game similar to this because it's a very hero-dependent, team-based game, I was rank 1 in Heroes of the Storm as well. So just for reference, I like to play at the high level. I like playing in the competitive, the ranked section of the game. You guys are seeing ranked gameplay. I'm going to be dropping a 30 bomb, 0 deaths. So I like to play in like the competitive areas of video games, not just in the casual area, because I saw people making tier lists and like, man, Iron Man is the most OP thing ever. Yeah, if no one deals with Iron Man, he is absolutely amazing. But if someone just has a hit scan or runs Hela, you're just instantly dead. Like, you can't get very much value at all by playing Iron Man if the enemy team is able to deal with you. So, again, you have to factor that in a little bit when you're looking at a tier list in terms of, you know, what rank are they actually playing at. So, for starters, those are the best characters as far as it goes. And I'll go briefly over, like, kind of why, maybe. I don't want to make this video too long because there's so many dang heroes. But Star-Lord, the ultimate is just absolutely crazy. The kit is just really good overall on the character. And you have a lot of ability to outplay other players because of mobility, which is a pretty big thing in this game, to actually, you know, get around an area or maybe go as a flanker, because just shooting at tanks is absolutely terrible in this game, and a lot of times you get into these stalemates where just things just don't die. So Star-Lord is really great, specifically because the ult is probably the best ult in the entire game in terms of the DPS category. Luna Snow is just really good because she's able to not only freeze an enemy that maybe gets a little bit too close, but she actually has respectable damage, and on top of that, she has the ability to kind of just throw like kind of like a Zenyatta orb and then just heal one target and the other target gets healed. And that is a problem sometimes with some of the flankers, like they just can't get healed because they're just off doing their own thing. And that's what makes Luna Snow so good. Groot, again, right now in the game, because people just keep on shooting the walls, he's absolutely S tier, like, no doubt. Now, Doctor Strange is really good, too, and I would honestly put him right next to, like, Groot, but right now, Groot is just so dang strong. Doctor Strange is just excellent. You have so much abilities to actually outplay a lot of different players. I'm just going to go ahead and start throwing things here, but, like, I wanted to start off the video by going over the best, because that's what most people are here for anyways. Let's go over some of, like, the, like, really bad characters that if you play these in rank, people will get upset, and they'll automatically tell you to swap. It's kind of like in Overwatch when someone locks in a character that people don't want, or like people are like, dude, this is the worst character in the game. Like right now, if you play Overwatch and lock in Reinhardt, people are like, dude, can you swap off Rein? So it's realistic to, you know, have these things happen, and it's an alpha, so hopefully these can get buffed. Storm is just really bad. I thought like, okay, maybe it's niche, you can get some good damage in with the character, you can speed boost. No, Storm is just absolutely terrible at the moment. Like, you just can't get enough DPS. The ulti is pretty good, but if you're playing a character from Ultimate, it's pretty rough, honestly. Another character I feel like is really underwhelming is Namar. He's not even good in the animes. So Namar is just simply not good. He throws little turrets, they just tickle. It's really bad. Like, the ultimate, like, if you pass basically silver in Overwatch, no one is getting hit by his ultimate. Like, the character is just so underwhelming for the ultimate, and just like the amount of times to actually land attacks, just pretty bad overall. Next up, As far as Iron Man, which I've seen so many people put S tier, like, again, if you play Hit Scan, you could absolutely just delete him out of existence. More than likely, it's just going to be Hela. Speaking of Hela, Hela is an absolute A tier. She just does incredible amounts of DPS, so I want to keep that character over there. I want to punish her over in B tier. It's just like solid, consistent damage. Really great tank buster in the game. I mean, I would almost put Punisher in the A tier because he's like so good when he bunkers up and he just lays down a bunch of damage, and he can actually be kind of a great tank buster because he can be versatile in long and short range. So A/B tier for Punisher I think would be appropriate. Mantis is actually really great too. If you actually heal with the character and damage boost yourself and actually are a good player, this character is amazing. It's just not as easy as Luna. Luna is just like way better objectively in terms of like the output that you can have on the character. Now, over here, I also have this niche category, which means if you're like top 500 in Overwatch, if you play like a really niche character, you can't actually pop off. Spider-Man, in most cases, they're going to go like 2 and 10 and just feed the entire time. So people usually get pretty upset if people see Spider-Man on the team, especially at the lower ranks of the game. He's just absolutely terrible. It's just like a little kid goes, I love Spooderman, or Iron Man, and they're going to like lock in and play like infinitely. But Spider-Man is incredibly difficult to play. C doesn't mean that they're worse than the B tier. It just means you have to be absolutely exceptional to get value out of the character. And Spider-Man is the hardest character in the game to play, I would say. Magic can be pretty difficult to play as well. I'm going to go ahead and put it here. I have actually a really insane gameplay I'm about to drop very soon for Magic. But this character has really good sustain if you have a team composition to actually incorporate her. She just has insane amount of sustain. Like Spider-Man, he does some damage, runs away, does some damage, runs away. It's hard to confirm kills, but if you are really good, I could see Spider-Man absolutely being amazing because he has a pretty good ult too. And then as far as Penny Parker, the mines are actually incredibly good if you know what you're doing, but most people just don't know what they're doing. Yeah, it's in C tier because it's like very niche. Scarlet Witch, very consistent. It's basically like a DPS Moira at the end of the day. I really like the character. It has an insane ult if you can pull it off. Now the thing with Marvel Rivals, just like in Heroes of the Storm, that's the reason why I brought up like I was rank 1 in this game. There are combos in this game that are absolutely amazing. Like, if you get Magneto, which I also think is a pretty decent character, and you combo the like, Zarya bubble with Scarlet Witch ult, oh my gosh, it's absolutely amazing. But the coordination and the stuff that's required because his range is really short, it's really hard to pull off a lot of combos in this game that aren't just like free passives because you have to tell your team, hey, can you do this? And when you're playing with randoms and a lot of people don't have mics, it's just kind of, you know, a problem, just like any game would have. Hulk, I actually kind of want to put him maybe towards like the lower C tier because even though I would consider him kind of niche and you can play him really well with like, let's say Magic, like if you throw the Luna Snowflake on Magic and then also combine it with like a Hulk and Magneto and you just basically pocket the Magic becomes this like crazy unstoppable tank that just never dies. It's absolutely crazy. But like, look at this game over here, guys. As far as it goes, we went 30-0 again. So this is in rank. Star-Lord is just absolutely crazy overpowered at the moment. He's definitely gonna get nerfed. But nonetheless, yeah, you can just power up Magic and the character will just pop off. As far as Loki goes, I think Loki is pretty bad in like, you know, a lot of like areas where it would be someone that doesn't know what they're doing. But if you know what you're doing, he's super good. I don't know where I would put Loki as far as like an average player's experience. I would say anywhere from B to like maybe A tier is pretty solid for this character. Again, if it's like lower rank, dude, this character just gets like no value on heals. People just try to like DPS with him and then kind of mess up their own teammates sometimes with the way that he works, and they don't understand how you need to put certain, like, you know, that little pylon that like reflects the damage. That thing is a little bit harder to place down. It's kind of like bad piece of mortality. Like there are certain areas that you can place it where they can't hit it. It's pretty dang good. So A to B tier for Loki for sure. He has a lot of outplay potential. Rocket Raccoon does damage. The armor packs can help, and like being able to get like the revive, the quick revive is pretty big. But he actually does pretty good damage, and the ultimate's pretty good. Overall, solid character. Like, anytime I see anywhere in A and B tier, I don't really mind. Black Panther's a very niche character. It's kind of like Magic, where like if you are sitting there getting a bunch of sustain from your teammates, the character can pop off and you can do stuff. But a lot of these characters that I put in the niche tier, they absolutely turbo feed and do nothing for a lot of the like average players. So that's where I would put the character in terms of recommendations. So this is pretty much our final tier list over here. I tried to make this video as quickly as possible, as well I do want to make a more updated one later down the line, maybe when they do some buffs and nerfs and when we get some more gameplay in, because the game is early on, and I would say this is objectively what I think most people would put in their tier lists. And like I said, these characters, if you play them, again, depending on what rank you're playing at, there will be people that say swap off of them because they just don't get value majority of the time. But again, the C tier doesn't necessarily mean that they're worse than the B tier. It just means that they're much more difficult to play, and in certain situations, maybe with a team like composition or like a team power up, they can be much better. But I'm curious to know what you guys think of my tier list. Obviously, the game just came out, so if there's anything new text and stuff that we can learn, I can maybe make a updated version of this, or if there's anything that I missed out on that was like really important. But again, I want to make this video a little bit faster here. But that is my current tier list for this game in terms of the alpha. But that's going to wrap up things. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell if you want to see more Marvel Rivals content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.